with
Mm,
this child
mhm,
or why this child is actually in the earth, but understanding that God wanted you here.
mhm.
God, the desire was for this child to be here and to look at him with amazement to me to see, how are they going to turn out because of the different things that they get involved in and the different things that they may try, the different things that they may choose to do. Sometimes we're like, oh man, that's going to be detrimental. But if you hand them over to God. Now, I
Right.
I have a friend, I don't, of course, it's a guy who would say this. He was like, my job is just to keep you alive till you come to know Christ. So that is funny.
Right. That's yeah. That sounds like God thinking.
He's like, yeah,
Yeah.
I
Gonna
got to
feed
keep
you,
you
clothe
alive.
you, keep you shelter over your head.
Yeah,
God's gonna do the rest.
yeah,
Trust him.
absolutely. Just keep you
That's
alive
good.
till you figure out
You
who
know,
you're supposed to be.
I don't know how often we wonder or we are amazed by what we even could imagine. What is God doing in the life of this child? Like God has put me in this position where I'm a parent or a mom, and
Hmm.
now I'm going to spend time imagining what the Lord is up to. It makes me think about Luke chapter 1, verse 45. This is when Elizabeth came to Mary, and
Hmm.
he says, Mary, you are blessed because you believed that the Lord would do what he
Hmm.
said. And
Hmm.
man, that's such a statement. One, Elizabeth got a revelation of who Mary was carrying, but then she just spoke to the wonder of or amazement in Mary having the opportunity to sit down and imagine what
Yeah,
this meant for her, right?
yeah,
So I just think about moms today taking time to even imagine what is God gonna do? Or what is God doing? Whether your child is young or teen or an adult, still having the wonder and amazement, just thinking about what God is going to do to get them where He wants them to be.
yes. And again, that's part of the reason I wrote the book, Help I Have Children, because it's not an instructional manual to
Hmm.
teach people how to raise their children, but it's, to keep your sanity while
While
you're
you're doing
raising
it,
your children,
right?
how you keep your mind on who God is and what
Hmm.
God has said. And again, the scriptures tells us that it's God who matures us. It's God who is the one who's going to craft the child into who they need to be,
Hmm.
because the Bible says he's all the while at work in us. So to me, the best thing you can do is talk to your child about salvation
Hmm.
and for them to get born again. And then from that point on, you know what? I know it sounds crazy, but it should be gravy.
Right. That's a great point. It seems like this perspective takes off a load. Whereas the other one, I had this child, I'm responsible for it. I got to make sure it's safe and clothed, and how we put the responsibility on ourselves to determine even what decisions the child is going to make. Like I got to do something so this kid makes all the right decisions.
Yeah.
That's such a heavyweight, impossible task, heavyweight, heavy load. But when
Hmm.
I put this in perspective, like, no, this is God's child. I connect him to God, and you know, take the training wheels off, as Pastor Ryan would
Just
say.
take the training wheels off. See, that's a man thought. We would leave those training wheels on our children. We're not
Yeah,
wanting them to fall and get scratches
right.
and bumps and bruises because see, y'all start that real early. You know what
We
y'all
do.
do? Like men. Okay, just stand a child on a table and say, jump.
Yep.
Jump, I'm gonna catch you. Jump.
Yep.
You don't see a mother
That's
doing
so
any
funny.
of that.
Uh, even so, to that point, Mackenzie, my daughter, Mackenzie interacts with the baby, and he's learning how to like pull himself up, climb up, and she's concerned. She stays close because she doesn't want him to fall. In my mind, I'm like, he ain't that far from the floor. You know,
You see the difference.
if he fall a couple times, he'll know what that's like. He's not far from the floor. He ain't gonna.
See, that's
Gotta learn them.
Pastor, see, you see what I'm saying? Do you see what I am
I
saying?
do. I
The
do.
total difference between the
Yes.
male and the female. He gotta
Yeah.
learn.
You gotta learn 'em, you know? Yes.
Y'all want them to learn, and it's crazy because the more they jump, the further back y'all back up. Come on, you
Right.
can do it. You can do it. It's like, what are
Listen.
you teaching them to do?
So I know it's not Father's Day is coming, so we're not talking about dads, but I'm just thinking about how the two hand in hand, the mom's perspective and mom's approach and dad's approach together make for everything a child would need in order to, be productive and all of that good stuff. Huh?
Yeah,
Both of
that
them
is
working together.
that is true. That's funny, but that is very true. But
Mm,
like I said, it just shows you the nurturing nature of a mom. It's an
yeah,
automatic keep this child from danger
yeah.
and protect them and make sure that they don't go through any unnecessary hardships, like the floor is not that far down, but in perspective, Pastor Lamar, the
Mhm.
fall is a good distance for a baby because they're short. But anyway, it's
I
okay. You can think like the male. That's who you are.
That's who I am.
It's great. Uh,
Amen. All the fellas in the room, I think I saw some head nods.
I'm just saying, what is it? Because what is it? You got to toughen them up.
They
You got to
gotta
toughen them.
You're gonna fall sooner or later. Fall in front of me. Experience it a few times here, you know?
And that's how they learn, right?
That's how they learn. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
man. I'm
That's
I'm just looking at all the scriptures, some of the scriptures that you shared on Sunday, and they are all powerful. And would encourage, if a person hasn't done it already, to have these tucked away and ready to pull them out when needed, whenever you need encouraging in
mhm.
your motherhood. Whip these scriptures out and read them over. We know the account. Most of us are familiar with the account where Jesus was separated from his parents and from the group when they
Yeah,
were traveling.
yeah.
And when they finally find them, I think in the Gospel of Luke, in Luke's account, it says after 3 days, they finally find him. And, they go through a series of questioning. They respond like parents. But after it all, verse 45 says that Mary tucked these things away in her heart.
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
thought that was
Exactly.
special, right?
Yes. Yes. Again, father's lesson learned. Mom says, wonder what this means.
That's right.
Wonder where this is going to go.
Mhm.
Wonder how this is going to turn out. How do I encourage them in their efforts and what they're doing? And how do I not um, totally dash their dreams
Mhm.
by
Right.
just saying you can't do that.
Mhm.
Um, but then just right there, just supporting them and rallying them on. It's like, okay, okay, you can do it. No, it doesn't look good, but it'll be okay. It'll be okay. And I think you need both sides, of course. You have to make sure that you love right, that you don't cripple a child. That and when I say cripple a child, that you don't get them at a point of being disadvantaged, thinking that um, I guess mm, I guess what would be the word for it? We don't put them at a disadvantage by um, making them help not helping them to mature in some things,
Mhm.
because of course a mom wants a child to mature as well. Um, have to what they say, you have to cut the apron strings. That's what they used to say a long time ago. Cut the apron strings and let them fly, let them do what it is they need to do. And sometimes for mom that's kind of difficult because we like the coddling. I hear moms all the time say, "Oh my goodness, they're growing up so fast." And um
Yeah.
they want to kind of keep them at that what we call the lovable state where it, you know everything. I
Mhm.
come to you for all things. There's some moms like that. I just really kind of was happy my children were growing up.
Mhm.
It's like, yeah, you can run your own bathwater. I'm sure you can. Okay, that's a good thing. Yeah, you can dress yourself. God, that is so crazy what you put on, but yeah, you did a good job. That's great.
You did it yourself.
You did it yourself. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. So again,
I want to hear more about that balance, though, right? I mean, is it? I don't want to put any words there, but there's a balance, a healthy balance there.
mhm,
If the perspective of this is God's child is maintained, if you keep that perspective,
mhm, mhm.
then dealing with the milestones and how they grow and how they mature, does it make it easier?
Um, I I guess it depends on where you are. Like I said, some people want to keep their children as children.
Right.
I wanted my children to grow up so I could see what they were going to turn out to be. And
There you
so most
go.
moms do watch their children. They watch when they change. They watch when something different takes place. And I believe that I did. I shared an example of that. Um, Not thinking that your children are not growing and maturing and not being influenced by other people.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
Understanding too that um, you can't, how do I put this? Trying to teach your children how to mature and grow in things is a little hairy sometimes
Mhm.
because I you can make your children do stuff up to a certain point.
Mhm.
And then they're going to start just kind of acting out on information, things they've seen, things they've experienced, things that they've heard. They start acting, I'm saying not necessarily acting out, but they start to experiment with those things
Mhm.
because there comes a point in a child's life when um, all of a sudden you're not the hero.
Right.
And there are
Yeah.
times and stages where they think you know everything, you're
Yeah.
the best thing since sliced bread. Take my cues from you. And then after a while, after they get to be a certain age, it's like, I got a little bit more information. Maybe I want to try this.
Yeah.
Maybe I want to try that.
Mhm.
And then having to change your pattern of
Mhm. Mhm.
relating to the child.
Mhm.
So that's what parents have to do. You have to watch.
Mhm.
Uh, as the Bible said, Mary said, I tuck these things away in my heart
Mhm.
so that when Jesus started to do things to
Yeah.
reflect
That's
who
good.
God had called him to be,
Mhm.
then I have a point of reference
That's good.
so that I'm not,
There it is right there. That's your nugget. That's it right there. So being watchful, but it's not just like in a natural sense where I'm
Mhm,
just watching them grow physically in those ways, but I have an idea of where this child is going to end. I have an idea of what God said. I have got what God said in mind, and I'm watching as we
mhm.
approach what God said. I'm being watchful in that
Mm,
way.
yes, I'm having the awesome experience of watching my grandchildren now.
Hmm.
And so some of them I just laugh because some of them are so let's see, they're so inquisitive
Hmm.
about things. There's some that um, I have no fear. Whatever it's gonna be, it's gonna be. I'm making this decision. This is what I'm going to do.
Hmm.
Oh, was that wrong? Oh, well, then why was it wrong? And then you have those that are kind of quiet. Um, and so just looking at them and laughing, and some of them, I'm just like, man, I can't wait to see how you turn out.
Hmm.
Because as we all know, you can't raise children the same way. It's not a cookie cutter thing. And that is supposed to be the enjoyment of having children
Hmm.
is watching what they say. I was thinking about something one of my grandchildren said. He said, someone told him to do something or gave him some instructions about something, and he did something totally different. And it was almost like, did you hear me? He said, sometimes your ears hear something different.
Hmm.
It's like you said it, but my ears heard something
Hmm.
totally different than what you said. And
Hmm.
I'm like, that is hilarious.
That
Are
is.
you telling me that's why you didn't do what I said? Because your ears heard something different?
Yep.
And I'm
Your
like,
y-
okay,
your
okay.
ears change the words
Your change the
to
word
hear
my
different.
ear
Yeah.
when you said it, but when
Hmm.
it got to
Hmm.
my ears changed the words. I was like, that is funny because it's so
Yes.
true.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah.
were just telling the truth about what was so to
Hmm.
me, it becomes more fascinating.
Right.
And then, of course, like I said, parents sometimes like, well, when I was growing up, you didn't let me do this and you didn't let me that, and you would excuse me for that. Well, you know what? We have more experience now. We
Hmm.
know it's not as unto death. We know it's not worth getting all spastic about. We know that, you know what, they're gonna grow and they're gonna change their mind about this.
So,
And
so should the younger parents be taking their cues from other parents or grandparents?
they should be taking their cues. Well, let me say it this way. It depends.
Hmm.
Sometimes grandparents can offer really wonderful wisdom. And
Hmm.
then you guys saw them be like, you know what, this
They
is
don't
what
do
I did.
anything.
And unfortunately, sometimes what
Right.
you did
Yeah.
caused your child to have
Yeah.
some problems that
Hmm. Hmm.
they're still trying to get over.
Right.
So I say you mostly hear what God is telling you about your child.
Hmm.
That's what I say.
Hmm.
Not that I didn't receive advice from people. When people told me some things, I just weighed them and decided, well, I'm going to do that or I'm not going to do that.
Hmm.
Um, because it's still your child, and this child still has a different personality than you have, and
Hmm.
this child still has a different personality than your other children or you. As a matter of fact, yeah, this worked with you, but you
Hmm.
tried it with your child and it's just not
Right.
working
Yeah.
because it's two different people. It really, really is. But again, that's why we watch our children. That's why we monitor our children. That's why we see when changes take place. Most of the time, a mom will see the change in the child before the father will see the change in the child.
Hmm.
And so, therefore, we have to sometimes make a change. It was um, let's see. At one time, God told me when Greg and I were traveling a lot.
Hmm.
Um, one, I think we were on our way from Australia, and God told me I had to slow down on my traveling because somebody else was raising my children.
Hmm.
And I had the conversation with Greg, and I said, I love being with you, and I know you want me always there. I said, but our children are at a stage where I have to be present because
Hmm.
other people are injecting their values
Hmm.
in our children.
Hmm.
And so he agreed, and so I had to make that change. Um, and that's something God spoke to me about. And
Hmm.
so noticing what they were doing. And then, I even had conversations with some people um, that my children hung out with, and some people that my children considered as mentors. And so it's a
That's good.
it's a watching of things. Okay, you really like this person. Let me watch them and see what they're doing, what kind of decisions that they're making, and if they're of an age that I think they understand. I did go to some people and say, you know what, um, my child admires you a great deal. I
Hmm.
don't want you to be this. I'm saying it this way now. Of course, I didn't relay it this way. I don't want you to be flipping around them.
Hmm. That's good.
And
I'm gonna bring
even
that back. Bring it back just in case it wasn't caught. You're saying that you became watchful of who your child was choosing to have influence over them, and then there
Mhm,
came a point where you had a conversation with that
mhm,
influence,
mhm,
letting them know that my child is admiring you, looking to you in
mhm.
this way. So don't be dismissive over
Right.
what you do and what you say in front of
Right.
them.
And of
That's
course, that's the person you're talking to has to be mature enough to understand what you're saying. And the times that I did it, I believe that they were, and so that's why I addressed them.
mm-hmm.
Um, and so again, moms do that. That's just a part of our nurturing is watching, trying to see you get to the end, trying to see you get to your destination, and what can I do to support you to get to where it is that um, we believe that God is taking you, and then even watching the changes that take
Mm-hmm.
place. It can be so much fun to watch your children actually change. And it's like, and my opinion is, who did? The Bible said, "Who did bewitch you?"
Mm-hmm.
When you see your child changing and things happening, you gotta go back and find out who you've been with, who you've been hanging out with, because
Mm-hmm.
God said it's a who,
Mm-hmm.
not what did change your
Mm-hmm.
mind.
Mm-hmm.
Who changed your mind?
Mm-hmm.
Who are you hanging out with? and then
That's
be
good.
very careful about how you try to monitor even that
Right.
relationship.
Right.
Um,
We've had conversation about that too. So
yeah.
you would make opportunities for even on the friend level, those influences to come closer to home or invite them over to so that you can see who are your
Oh
friends.
yeah. You're talking about when my children were dating. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
We won't just totally dismiss them, even though we know.
Because sometimes I think the
Mhm.
opposite, the instinct is to push them away,
Ooh,
like
that
want to get
is.
them away from
Mm,
outside influences. But
yeah.
it sounds a lot more, it's more wisdom to bring them in and see for yourself.
See for yourself. Just bring them
Mhm.
in. Hey, this is how the family operates.
Got it.
You like it?
Mm, that's good.
Do you like what we do? You like so
Mm,
yeah, we go to church. Do you go to church? Oh, you
mhm,
don't go to church. Is there a reason why you don't go to church?
mhm.
It's again, it's bringing them in close so I can see you interact together versus pushing you away, and then I don't know what you
Right.
telling
Right.
my and then the power of prayer.
Yeah.
I can't tell you the
Mhm.
number of people I prayed away from my children.
Yeah. Mhm.
It would be like
Mhm.
they introduce and I'm like, "Hey, how are you doing?" You're
Mhm.
not staying,
Mhm.
but
Mhm. Mhm.
they think you're staying, and I'm gonna
Mhm.
be cordial to you, but oh no, you
Mm.
not staying.
Mhm.
So yeah, come eat with us. You still ain't staying.
Yeah.
You want to
Man.
go to Orlando with us? We going to a theme park because
Mhm.
if I don't figure out ways to put you in a
Mhm.
position where I can monitor your behavior, you're gonna
Mhm.
go somewhere else, and I won't
Right.
be able to see what's happening.
Right.
But if I invite you, yeah, come.
Come on.
You want to go to
That's good.
McDonald's with us? Come go
Mhm.
with us.
Mhm. Mm. That's good.
We're okay with this. And
Mhm.
then, boy, I'm telling you, God is so faithful. He know how
Yeah.
to get rid of people.
Wow.
He,
Yeah.
he knows how to
That's
get
good.
rid of people.
Mm. That's
Yeah,
good.
just want to throw that in there.
Now we take that, get the Holy Ghost on them. Just as we wind down, what I'm hearing is making the decision to be responsible. Moms make a decision to be
Yes,
responsible
yes,
and
yes,
beyond the natural physical ways, but responsible spiritually. And with that decision comes the actions, the praying, the things
yeah,
that are necessary in order to be responsible. It's like
yes.
our mama. Yeah, I'm gonna be mama. That's good. That is good, and that is encouraging. We thank you so much, Pastor Deborah. And wow. So we have some things to chew on and to think about as we go through the rest of our day and week. As you do that, you don't have to do it alone. Go through the rest of this day knowing that we love you. God does too. Keep attending and keep being most blessed. We'll see you soon.